the window, and there was this little string about 2/3 through, and the 2/3 was for white people, and the 1/3 was for black, and you'd walk up and she'd begin waiting on you, but if a white person came up, she'd stop talking to you and wait on the white person. And Julian always said that there was the janitor who was sweeping around, and we stood in line, we filled out the application, we got the test, and then we take the test. You go over to these benches and take the test. And Julian claimed there was a janitor who was sweeping around, and he was telling us the answers to the test. I don't remember that, but it could have been, because I'm sure any janitor who did that knew all the answers because he'd been there so long, and he could easily help you along if he felt so inclined to do it.
One of the things I do have to observe is I know that you're staying in one of the prominent hotels downtown, and that you were able to enjoy breakfast and a little bit of physical recreation this morning. I've got big ears, just really big ears. Was that something that you ever thought you could do in the 1960s? Live in a state of leisure in the Deep South with no encumbrances whatsoever? Is that a result of what happened?
It's a result of what happened.
Give me a complete sentence.
It is a result of what happened. We are staying in a hotel, and it does have a swimming pool, and I went swimming this morning and yesterday. And it never would have happened before, and I didn't really think about that. I was thinking more about that's a public accommodation, but I was thinking more of things that were open to all publics, like buses and things like that would be open. But no, I never did think that would happen. I know one of those big cases that Howard worked on was the Heart of Atlanta Hotel, which involved a hotel, I guess it's probably no longer here. But anyway, it involved a hotel that was being built that was segregated and wouldn't let people in. And I remember another incident that happened. We were driving around, and it was, I was pregnant with our first child. And we went, I have to say, those time people weren't so, we had more of a French attitude toward drinking when pregnancy. In other words, you could drink some, So we went to let me explain. So this was like an interim period after the sit-ins, but before the Civil Rights Bill was passed. So some places in Atlanta decided to integrate voluntarily, and there was one place whose restaurant integrated, and we were told that. And we decided to eat there, but we went to the bar first, and we sat down at the bar, and the guy said, "Sorry, we can't serve you." I don't remember exactly basically that's what he said. He wasn't mean, but he was just stating that. And so we said, well, the restaurant is integrated. And he said, yes, but the bar isn't. And then he said, you must have missed one of the meetings. I don't know, I just thought it was so bizarre that his thought was, that's the way people thought, that we were having meetings all over the city learning things. But no, I never really thought about that, about staying in the hotel. But it is true. It is true that it's a change. And not only do they have blacks working in cleaning, doing service, but there are people behind the desk that talk, doing things, assistant this, assistant that, or manager something. And it's very gratifying to see these young people doing the jobs, very capable, they seem to me, at least from my interaction with them. And I'm very proud of them. They're really, it's amazing, yeah.
Did you ever feel like you didn't have a choice to be active in the movement, that you wanted to sit and just be pretty and young, okay? Was it something that was inside you, or something that was so much around you that you could not think of anything else?
I don't think it was the system was so oppressive that you couldn't help but want to change it. It was an oppressive, horrible way to live that nobody enjoyed, at least nobody black enjoyed. And I do think there were some white people who didn't like it but didn't know what or to do or how to do it. For instance, there was a Rich's store called Rich's downtown, and which was one of the more liberal stores, but still they had, they were segregated, and they had a passageway between over the street. They were building on both sides of the street in a passageway, and in the passageway there was a little restaurant, and I remember pushing my oldest daughter, who was born there, through that passage, and she saw people eating, and she wanted something to eat. She was very young, but I couldn't, I couldn't explain to her. I just had to say, no, we can't eat there, and keep on going. And that was really a painful experience, to have to tell that to your child, to feel that it really made me angry. I almost felt like saying or doing something, but I didn't. I had the kid, and I just kept on going. But, there were things like that happening all the time that, especially at that time when there was so much going on, that you felt you had to join in. I don't know if I would have been brave enough to have acted if it had been one of the more quiescent times.
Okay. Yeah. When you look back from the perspective of years, hi, there. What's the one thing that stands out for you?
One thing that stands out for me? Well, I have to say that I'm really proud of Atlanta when I come back, especially from the West Coast, that although I live in Alameda County, which is the